How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So glad each and every one of you can make it. Today, we're going to make a windshield. Again, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So glad each and every one of you can make it. Now, I have the vacuum forming machine where I can make my own windshields. I rarely use it just because typically the paint jobs that I do, the glass that's in it will work. Let me show you a case in instance. Look at this one. Red windshield and everything, but it worked with that paint job. And even the green one. Okay? The green worked out with that glass. So typically, sorry, that's how it goes. But with that stated, every once in a while, you'll come across some case to where it just isn't going to work. So let me show you this one. I am currently working on this, right? Let me get you to turn around so I can show you better. I'm working on that. Well, the glass that came with it is this. Well, that just is not going to work. That just is not going to work. So I'm going to make a windshield for it. And while I'm doing the windshield for it, I figured that I would make more than one windshield because it's kind of a waste to just do one windshield. So I happen to have a couple other windshields, I believe, over there in my little parts bin. And if I do, I'm going to make one of these for the charger. And I'm either going to make two of them. That way I can have one for another one later on and put it in a baggie and mark it. Or I'll do this and a gasser. So let me get everything set up and I'll walk you through the process. So here we go. This is the vacuum forming machine. Let me walk you through what's going to happen. You have one for molding, one for heat. You leave this one off. This is actually the vacuum. This is the heat. So what we're going to do is you have clear polystyrene sheets, and this has the protective coating on it. I haven't taken it off yet. It goes in this tray, and then you turn the heat on, right? Let it heat up. While that's heating up, you put your windshields in. Get them set to where you want them. As you can see, I can make 4, 6, however many I want to really do. In this case, I'm going to do 2, I'm sorry. But anyhow, you put your sheet in here, you let it heat up. Whenever it heats up, you turn this around, and then you raise this up, and it locks in place. Okay? There's actually 2 settings. I recommend going to the highest setting. That way it gets everything nice and hot. And plus I'm outside and it's a little breezy today. But then you dip down here and you look up in and you'll see the plastic actually start to sag a little bit. Well, when it does that, it's time. So what you do is you flip the heat off and turn on the vacuum at the same time and then drop the top. And I'll show you as we do it. Alright, here we go. Now this is just something that I like to do. I'm getting everything set up. I like to take a stack of washers or something along that line and figure out the height of the glass. And the reason I do that is this plastic is going to be really hot. So when you pull it down on that windshield or whatever you're forming, if it's something like this glass windshield, it's going to want to distort the original windshield. So as it cools, it hits it hot, so that heats up this. And then the vacuum that's pulling on it will want to distort it and make it mush down in the middle and stuff. So what I like to do, I like to just take a stack of washers. It doesn't have to be perfect, but about however high the windshield is. And that just ensures that it won't distort that windshield whenever I form it, because if you think about it, if it distorts it while it's cooling down, well, the finished product is going to be distorted as well, because the original is going to be distorted, if that makes any kind of sense. So if I can eliminate any of that, I really want to do it. You can just play around. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want it taller. You don't want If it pulls down on a little bit, that's fine, but you don't want to actually put a bow in it like this because of the thickness of the washers. Even if it pulls down just a little bit whenever you vacuum for them because you don't have quite enough washers or you couldn't find exactly the right thing, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Main thing is to keep it from distorting your new windshield. That's what we're trying to do here. And then turn you around. Just peel off the protective coating. As you can see, it's clear. Then you're going to put it in your holder. Try to center it the best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just don't want it pulling out whenever it starts to vacuum. Close it. Lock it. And you can tighten it down if you so choose. And while that's sitting there like that, turn on the heat. And it won't take long to heat. I can already feel it heating up. And you can always check the power light and make sure it's on. As you can see, it's on. Alright, it's nice and hot. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to raise it up. And watch for it to start to sag. And it almost starts immediately, but I want it to actually droop some. And then I'll turn the heat off and hit the vacuum. It's starting to sag ever so slightly now. Alright, here we go. And that quick we have is 2 new windshields. Now you want to be careful, you want to rotate that top out of the way. And let this set for a while before you even think about touching it. The plastic you can touch right away. Turn it around here. Pull these out. Perfectly formed windshields. Now if you want to use something else, but I'll cut this out because you got to cut this whole thing out. And that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go inside and cut it out. But I just wanted to show you this because as you can see, the factory one doesn't have this ridge in it anyway. All this has got to be cut out. So while this cools down, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. And yeah, let's go inside and cut all this out. But if you look, you see where the posts go, that little notch right there. So what I do is I take a Sharpie and go around that. That way I know to cut that out. And then and it's stiff because it has all these molded edges. But once you start cutting around, cutting those edges off, it actually becomes very pliable and easy to cut, as you can see. Like I said, you could fit 4, maybe even 6 windshields in this. I've never tried it. Most I've tried is 3 and it worked perfect. There you go. You can see what we got. And I'm just going to go right down the middle. Now let's try to get this out. And sometimes it can be a little difficult because I mean you're sitting there, you pulled a vacuum seal around it, so it might take a little bit of doing, but it will come out. Just keep working with it, pushing and pulling. Voila! And I wasn't wanting to save the original anyway, but I just wanted to show you how to do that, so in case you did. But there's the original, didn't hurt anything. Just bending a little bit. And now we just go along and cut on that edge. And you can use whatever you want to cut this out. I'm just using a pair of scissors. You can use an X-Acto knife or whatever you feel comfortable with. And I just go along like this until I get a finished product. You can see it's starting to take shape now. There's that side done. I mean, you could get really technical with it and come in with a razor knife and just trim all kind of stuff away. Make it as pretty as you want. But in this case, it depends on the casting. What all are you going to see, you know? That's going to be behind the B-pillar, so I'm not really that worried about that section. So now I'm just going to go up this side, do the same thing. I really need to send Mr. Hewitt's that gasser one, and I may do that because he doesn't believe that they will fit. And I understand his way of thinking. You know, you're sitting here and it's already an extremely tight fit to start with, and now you're introducing the thickness of this material going on top of that windshield. So I understand what he's saying 100%. And he is not wrong in his thinking. As a matter of fact, it does make it tighter. But that's just it. It makes it tighter. It doesn't make it not want to fit. So what I really need to do is send that to Mr. Hewitt's after I get it cut out so he can give it a whirl and see what he thinks. Because that will really help him with his customs. But yeah, look at that already. There's the windshield, nice and clear. Now if you get this material real hot, it will form bubbles when you vacuum seal it, as you can see right there. There's nothing I can do about that. I just wanted to make sure I got it hot so that it would form. But here we go. I'm going to show you before and after. This is what it would have looked like if I would have used the factory glass. That just is not going to cut it, ladies and gentlemen. But since I am able to do my own, that goes right in. Look how nice and neat that looks. Night and day difference. So I'm going to cut this other one out, and I think I'm going to send it to Mr. Hewitt's just so he can play around and experiment a little bit. But I wanted to introduce you to it because not everybody watches everybody's channels. Like I say, Rodney from RD Custom Diecast has one. Andrew from Maple Leaf Customs has one. I have one, and we don't all necessarily watch everybody's content. So you might see Andrew do it on his channel, right? Some of you. But the ones that watch me and don't watch Andrew's not going to see it. So by me putting it on my channel as well, it just helps put it out there. It's just another tool for the arsenal. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you do a lot of customs, absolutely. If you do a lot of wheel swaps, absolutely. Because now you can change the entire look of how that car looks. As just like the wheels. You can change the glass, change out the windshields. It's just something else to make it that much more fun. So until next time, get out there and hunt. Because if you don't hunt, you can't find. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.